Member Chesterfield Rockerview, followed by Alberta Centre.
Mr. Speaker, parents across Alberta are starting to feel the impact of this government's broken promise, back-in-debt budget. In education, it looks like the Alberta Distance Learning Centre is the latest casualty. ADLC has existed for 90 years and gives over 60,000 kids access to alternative learning options that are not available in the class. But that program is now in jeopardy, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask the Minister of Education if he realizes that he may have inadvertently put a bullseye on this program and the kids that rely on it.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it's a good question, and I might direct the member to check answer from a couple of days ago, because the member from Barhead Westlock actually asked questions very similar, and we gave her the answers. But I would tell him again that the ADLC is a very important piece of the education system in Alberta, and with their 90-year history, which is a great history, they're going to have a great future too.
Honourable Member.
Well, that's 4 go-rounds at it, and we still haven't had an answer, Mr. Speaker. The proof is in the pudding. The lack of foresight in education means that boards can no longer afford this program. Given the ADLC estimates a 50 to 60% reduction in enrollment next year, which potentially means tens of thousands of kids, does the minister not realize that without the program, he is treating those that use it currently as second class?
Mr. Speaker, nothing's further from the truth, and this was all debated during estimates, and we had questions on it last year as well. The issue that we had with the funding with respect to the ADLC is that there was some double dipping going on. We were paying $1.56 for every dollar we were putting into the traditional classroom. So we were paying more for distance learning as a taxpayer, and I hope the honourable member can appreciate that we want to get value for the taxpayer. So when we know distance learning, e-learning costs less to deliver, why are we paying 156% of what we're paying for the traditional classroom?
Mr. Speaker, I assure you that the boards in this province sing a different tune. You don't have to necessarily answer me today, Minister, but you ought to speak to them. Given there will be a couple hundred teachers on the steps of this legislature in just a few days, probably a lot more in fact, how are you going to explain to them that dumping distance learning makes any sense for the thousands of kids in Alberta that rely on it?
Mr. Speaker, it's irresponsible statements like that create fear in these folks. There's nothing of the sort happening. As a matter of fact, there's a very comprehensive review of distance learning happening in this province right now. It's been going on for some time. It was started by the previous minister, and that report is coming due here very soon. In addition to that, the Minister of Advanced Education, myself, and the ADLC, the superintendent in charge of the ADLC, and the president of Athabasca University have been talking about a province-wide symposium or conference on e-learning in this province and the future of that. Mr. Speaker, this is a foundational piece of education going forward, but we've got to make sure we're going to get it right.